Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy, and here with my husband, Noel. Hello, the Vintage Gypsy Bree and Kaya. Good morning. Thank you guys for sharing the show. I see Rainey already shared it. I appreciate that. So, happy Friday. We are in week 28. I cannot believe how fast this year is going by already. Josie, good morning. So week 28, we got some fun stuff to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about protecting your energy and your brand. So that's going to come up in just a little bit. Sunshine, Kelly's Place. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Has a question for you. I don't know what it is, you guys. I swear, every time I start a show, my eye starts watering. It's like this thing. Okay. Who got to see, good morning, Rustic. Who got to see the CEO Challenge, our showcase on Monday? It was week 1. It was our first kickoff. If you were there, if you saw it, throw something in the chat. Yes, Josie, if you are a participant, definitely throw something in the chat. It was so good. I was so happy for this. I thought it went extremely well. Is there always things we can improve upon? Yeah, there always is. But it is going to be super great. And it's actually this week. This coming up Monday is week 2, and we're going to do something just a tad bit different. Don't worry, participants, if you're in here, we're not going to throw you for a loop. But here's the dilemma that I get myself into between a full-time job and wanting to do like Whatnot full-time all at the same time. Is I am heading to Dallas. Good morning, Lori. I am heading to Dallas next week. So my flight originally was at 7 in the morning, which means I couldn't do my Monday show. Well, my Monday show is like my highest attendance show. So my husband's like, that's one you shouldn't miss. If there's, any shows, you really need to be there on that Monday show. And I'm like, okay. So I rescheduled my flight for like 2 in the afternoon. Good morning, Kate. Which was fine. No big deal. I can take a 2 in the afternoon. And then I'm looking at it last night and I'm like, but I don't land until 4:30, 4:35. Like by the time the plane lands, I get off the plane and I'm an hour behind. So that puts me in the time of almost when the CEO Challenge is supposed to start on Monday night. So I am working things out, but this is my struggle. It is a constant struggle. So I'm always like, oh, well, maybe if I move this over here a little bit, or let's move this. But it's one of those things. Good morning, Vintage Hive. So I'll work through it. We're not changing anything up. It's going to happen. There's a solution to everything. So, but I can't, well, I'm supposed to kick it off for one. So I kind of got to do that. And then of course I don't want to miss anything, but I do have I Love Discounts, but their show's going on at the same time. So they're co-hosting with me, but their show is the same time. So we'll work it out. I'll find a solution one way or the other. But that is the CEO Challenge. If you missed it on Monday, I highly encourage you to make it on this coming Monday. Our participants are actually going to be selling. So they're going to talk and sell. It takes it up a notch. Thank you, Mary. You know what? It is all workable in some way. I have this huge thing. Melissa from the post office. Hello, y'all. I just got to tell you a story. I was going to talk about you this morning. See Melissa right there? I had the coolest experience yesterday. So I have a couple of post offices, not near me, but this one is about 5 miles from me. And I go there frequently. And I go in the back and I load up. I have my truck loaded up. I ring the bell and they pull the big tub out and we load it up. And Melissa is one of my favorite post office workers that are there. And yesterday I'm unloading and she's like, because we've chit-chatted a bit. Good morning, Southern Charm. We've chit-chatted a bit and she goes, I've got a new obsession. Have you heard about Whatnot? And I'm like, oh my God, of course I've heard about Whatnot. And so we started talking about being a seller on Whatnot and how you could buy everything in the world. You could buy everything in the world on Whatnot. So I was super excited, but hello, it is good to see you. And then, so I'm like, hey, check me out. I'm Zoe's Treasures, and then we're driving home and I call my husband and tell him, I'm like, hey, this is so cool. You'll never believe, what just happened to me. And he's like, well, did you get her username? And I'm like, no, no. So anyways, Whatnot is spreading, y'all. It is spreading. It's growing every day. If you are not a seller yet and you are thinking about it, it is the time to become a seller. I know the vintage gypsy bee.
Of course. The minute that she's supposed to do something that it's supposed to do, yeah, she fails at it.
Swamp Chick, good morning. So,
Fired, I say.
that was that. CEO challenge. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Who has what not points? Who got the points? Oh, Olivia, you forgot to kinda, same thing. Southern Charm just okay. If Southern Charm gets them, I get everything like the next day after Southern Charm or within a few hours. What points? Okay, so Whatnot rolled out a new system yesterday, or a new feature, where if you go up to the top of your screen, there's a little like gift box, and normally if you click on that, it shows you your referrals. It shows you your referrals. He's making me lose my train of thought already this morning, y'all. Now, with the points, they've rolled it out where you could like earn points by doing different daily challenges. So I don't have it yet, so I don't know what the challenges are, but probably like going into different shows or spending so much time doing this or searching this. There'll be different things that you can do on the app. When you complete those challenges, and there's supposed to be new ones every day, when you complete it, you earn points. You can then spend those points to get like little emojis for when you tap the screen, or an emoji when you win an auction, like you get a special picture that comes up instead of just your logo or your little icon. So there's different things you can buy. So they're gamifying the whole experience. I've heard people yesterday, I heard people are like super excited about it. Other people were like, this is stupid. What do you think? I want to know what you guys think. I don't have it yet, so I am looking forward to at least being able to actually see it and make a real opinion about it. Kate, just another distraction. But we have a couple. I love it. I like it. Sounds like fun. Kind of cheesy and distracting. Daily check-in, 10 minutes, save 3 shows. Watch any show. Okay, here. So Southern Charm is saying what the challenge is today. Do a daily check-in, watch any show for 10 minutes, and save 3 shows. If those are the challenges, I kind of like it. Well, my initial thought is I'm indifferent to this. I don't think it's something that I'm going to be excited about and use. But on the same time, if it encourages people to bookmark my show, to come into my show, as a seller, I'm all for that, if it encourages that. Just depends how it's used. Yeah, if it becomes super distracting, I'm going to be against it. I need to wait and see it. I was curious. I wanted to see from the people who already have it, like what are your thoughts? So this is really interesting to read. You think it might be a distraction as a seller? So as long as I can't see it, like I'm looking on my screen right now and I can see the little gift thing, but as long as it doesn't distract me when I'm selling, I'm probably okay with it. Oh, so there's different challenges. So maybe the challenges are based upon your activity as a user, because Blessed Chaos says their challenge was to double tap the screen 5 times. That's interesting. That's almost kind of creepy. If the challenges are very, very catered to your usage, it's kind of like your For You page in a sense where, wow, how much information are they gathering on us at any moment? That's a little creepy. Mary, I don't know why you don't get the emails. I don't understand it. But let's give it a chance. Let's see how it goes. Now, the good side about this, there's legitimate market research that shows buyer loyalty programs increases like repeat purchases 15 to 30%. So, and that's just like statistical data, gathered over years from market researchers. So if that's true, if having buyer loyalty programs, which I can kind of see the truth in that, because look, every grocery store, gas stations, we have our rewards. So there is truth that buyer loyalty programs do something positive. So if this actually increases repeat purchases 15 to 30%, that would be wonderful. However, my question is, the thing I'm going to ask is it increasing my repeat purchases, or is it really a benefit just to Whatnot, because those purchases are so spread out across the board? I'm not going to see a whole lot of increase as a seller. And that may be selfish, but let's face it, we're here to make money, right? Everything though, because I swear during my little tour last night, I'd say a name, show something I got from a seller. Yep, it's creepy, Livy, how that works. Oh, and you can buy different hearts for the screen taps. Okay, that's kind of cool. They are listening. Whatnot is listening to everything we say. So, anyways, let's give it a chance. Let's see how it works. And you know how Whatnot is, you guys. You know how Whatnot is. They'll roll something out and they'll take it away 6 months from now. So, make a purchase. I like the purchase one. That's pretty good. Curious to see how it affects the seller's algorithm. Buyers are participating in meeting challenges in your room. That would be, so the activity part of it, does it, if it pushes up the algorithm. We're going to need to watch that discoverability page within Whatnot Help to see if they change any of the wording to accommodate this, to see if it's something that they've actually linked or not. Shouldn't have to wait until 1,000 items sold before they can start promoting coupons. You should be able to use coupons before 1,000 items. Rustic, you should as far as I know, but maybe they've changed something. How do we reach out to Whatnot about how we don't get these emails? I never got the emails about updates or changes. That's a good question, Swamp Chick Boutique. And go and check your settings. I wonder if there's something in the notification settings of something. Nope. Yeah, my husband, Noel's saying yes. That would be my first guess, is just double check your notification settings and make sure something isn't accidentally turned off on emails. And after that, then I would go through the bot and see what the bot says. Will you say again how you can see what the challenges are? So on your screen, at the top of your screen, there's a little, looks like a gift, like a little wrapped up gift. If you click on that, before this rolls out, what you see is just referrals. Once this update hits your phone or your account, you'll also see probably like another tab that says like challenges or something like that. Right now, when I click on the little gift on mine, I just see the referrals. I don't see it yet. It hasn't updated for me. So Rustic is okay. Anybody else help me out, you guys, because it's been a while since I've had 1,000. So Trameltoe says no. Trameltoe's under 1,000 in sales and can get $1,000. Rustic, I don't think that's the case. I honestly think that is not correct. You should have access to coupons immediately. Just double check. Now, if you're on your phone, you're not going to get coupons on your phone. You have to go to a laptop to access the coupons. Okay. C Mills is saying where you can see the you have to do the drop down. Thank you, guys. And then it says coming soon. Yeah, they're rolling it out like they do everything in stages. Prior to 1,000. Yeah, double check that, Rustic. I really think it's there. Maybe you're just not looking in the right place, I'm guessing. Okay, you guys. PA Meetup. If you got a ticket, if you're coming, please throw your emoji in the chat if you are coming to the PA Meetup. These are our tickets. You actually get a physical ticket in the mail. Kelly's Place is coming. We have already about 30 people. Tickets have been on sale for, 3 days now? We have at least 30 people coming. Melinda's Vintage Hive. And I expect there to be close to 100 by the time we're done selling it. So, Melissa, if you have not heard about this, we are doing a Pennsylvania meetup for all sellers, buyers, anybody who's interested in coming. It is going to be on October 3rd in Harrisburg. We are at an old firehouse, which is kind of cool, really neat location. It is going to be from 9 to 3 o'clock. Tickets are in my bin. I'm selling them only through Whatnot, so they're available every single show. And today's free shipping, so you don't even have to pay for shipping on your ticket if you buy one today. You can go to my website, Zoe's Treasures right there, and it gives you all the information. But the morning is going to be full of education and fun and some games. Green 13 is going to be speaking. Daisy Lane, yeah, you're coming. Green 13 is going to be speaking. Dragonfly Neen will be speaking. I Love Discounts will be speaking. I will be speaking, and we're still kind of looking at what else we may be doing for general sessions. Your ticket price, what do you get for that? Is one, admittance to the event. It does help offset the cost of the facility. You will get a continental breakfast, and we'll have a catered lunch. It'll be a buffet of some sort, but it will be a catered lunch that we'll be bringing in. So that's what you get for your ticket price. So the morning of education, fun, breakout groups, and then an afternoon of networking. It is in Harrisburg, which is very close to Lancaster. So if you are a vintage person and love to do some antiquing, this is a wonderful place to do that. Or if you just like to, hang out and meet people. So there you go. If on my website, if you click the link there, it brings you right back to Whatnot to buy the ticket. And you don't have to be from Pennsylvania. If you want to travel, you could be from Alaska and come over and see us. We're totally cool with that. Lori, we would love to have you guys. We want as many people there as we possibly can. I think it's going to be an amazing time. So we're slowly like solidifying plans little by little. Southern Charm. Southern Charm. Thank you. Kelly's place is in Baltimore. Yeah. So Kelly, you are like probably 45 minutes from us. We keep saying we need to meet each other, but finally we're going to meet each other. So you guys, check it out. Think about it. Tickets will be on sale as long as they're available, or until about the middle of September. There is going to be a point in September where I need to cut tickets off so that I can give good head counts to our food vendors and make sure we have enough of everything we need. But we are doing our best to make it a really, really cool day. So that's that. Okay, PA meetup. And the only other thing I'm going to ask you about the PA meetup is I am asking you guys, if you are going, spread the word. Even if you're not going, but you think it's cool and you have friends anywhere around this area, spread the word. Let people know. Let them know they can come to any one of my shows or in the marketplace. They just have to search through Whatnot PA meetup. They'll find the tickets. Okay. Tomorrow, really one quick last plug before we get into our topic for the day is tomorrow, 8 a.m., my Timeless and Elegant show. We do this show once a month. Sneak peek, here you go, everything behind me. This is what we are running. I'm going to do all random polls. So we're doing kind of back and forth between that pre-listed and that random. We're going to see how the random goes. The meetup is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It says the actual address says like, what does it say? Like Hanover Township or something like that. What does it say? Oh no, it actually says Harrisburg. Okay. West Hanover Parks. That's where I was getting Hanover. It is in Harrisburg. It's about 30 minutes from the airport and not too far from a train station, from an Amtrak station. There's hotels. When you buy a ticket, I already put it, when you buy a ticket, I mail you the ticket, but I also mail you a bunch of information that includes like some local hotels, airport train information. So you're going to get a little bit of information about the area just to help you plan your trip. I put it up somewhere. Oh, it's over there. It's okay. It's 2.5 hours. I don't know where it is. Yeah, no, I was looking for the information. 2.5 hours. That's not too far. You could drive that. That's super easy. So, okay, he's insistent that I show you the information. He's like, it's there. It's there. It's right there. Is that it? Okay, like I told you, I put it up on top of the cubbies. Okay, anyways. I'm near State College. Good, I'm so glad. Y'all, we would love to have as many people there as we can. We really want to make this cool. Okay, so we talked about tomorrow. If you're interested in Timeless and Elegant, we are talking like crystals and just those very high class decor items. If you are interested in that, besides taking a peek behind me today, you can always go to tomorrow's show. There is a quick video on there where I do a shelf scan in the video. Okay, here it goes. My husband is like insistent. When you buy, you're going to get that ticket I showed you, plus you're going to get 3 pages of information that tell you all kinds of stuff about the event and the local area. So you'll get something in the mail when you buy it. He said he is very supportive. He is very supportive. Sometimes he's a little too insistent. I haven't pulled the Nerf gun out recently, but I've been tempted quite a few times. Please come, yes. Okay, so first off, if you guys are new here, welcome. I am sometimes more organized than what I seem to be squirrel braining right now, but my name's Tracy. I'm so glad you're here if this is your first time. Every Friday morning, he's like shooting me with the Nerf gun. I've got mine down here somewhere, if I can reach it. Look at this, you guys. Southern Charm bought me this so that I can like go like this and shoot him because he gets on my nerves. So I'm usually not the squirrel brain. Every Friday morning we talk about business. We're about to talk about some business right now. And today we are going to talk about, Sean, can you go over real quick if this seminar can help you as a buyer? The way I see that it can help you as a buyer is making those connections, is meeting the sellers, letting them get to know you. We only get to meet a community right there. We only get to meet our buyers like this. I would love, the more I could put a face to a name, if I could actually get to know my buyers more, I think that's wonderful. So I just think it is community building. It's also getting to understand the buyers. It's learning those techniques. Who knows if maybe someday you don't are getting to know the sellers, that you don't want to end up being a seller. But overall, I think it's more so community. We are talking about, just depending on how many people I can get that are buyers, doing some type of a panel discussion that includes buyers and sellers. So we're going to get both sides of that. We have 2 general sessions in the morning, and the details of exactly what's happening in those general sessions are still being worked on. But part of the goal is to include buyers more in that, because as sellers, it's great to hear from each other. But at the end of the day, who's the one spending money? The buyers. Those are the people that I really do want to hear from. Those are the ones that their opinions actually really, really matter. So I think it would be beneficial to you if the community aspect isn't enough. I think there's other benefits to you. And if you want, what you can do, send me a DM, and as soon as I start to solidify how we can bring buyers into this more and make them more an active part of it, I would be happy to message you those plans so you can make a good decision if that's something you are interested in. But you got to send me a DM, because I will not remember on my own. Just telling that's the honest to God truth. Won't remember on my own. Okay. So, protecting your energy and your brand. That's our topic this morning. That's a big one, y'all. That is a huge, huge topic here. Right out the gate, energy affects your performance. How many of you have had those days you wake up and you're just like, oh, you are on time. You wake up and you're like, I just can't do this today. And you're like, I'm going to power through. And you do the show, but you feel it. How many of you feel that shift in energy where you're just not you? You're not at your best in your show. I had this huge revelation the other day about this. I knew, look at all the people are like, yep. I knew that I need to bring it, right? We always know that we got to be at our best. And I get that, but it's hard. Life happens, and every day you're not at your best, right? There are days when you wake up and you got a headache, you're tired, whatever it may be. I found another time, my revelation the other day was, I'm trying to sell more items, do longer shows, right? I did close to a 2-hour show, probably like 2 weeks ago, and I physically felt myself, and I heard it in my voice, and I saw it in the prices. When I was getting close to the 2 hour and 15 mark, I was just like, okay, here's 5 things. I'm going to bundle 5 things together. These don't match. Just take them. I wanted the show to be done. I was bored. I was just overselling. I was tired of standing there. I was tired of describing stuff. I was tired of talking. And it wasn't like in a bad way. It wasn't like I was in a bad mood. It was, I realized about myself, I am not cut out to do 2, 3, 4-hour shows. That doesn't work for me physically, mentally, emotionally. It does not do me any good. And I think part of protecting your energy and your brand is understanding yourself and understanding what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Yeah, energy doesn't always mean upbeat. I mean, when I say energy, I'm not talking that you got to come on here and sing and dance and do all this stuff. It's just what you're bringing. It's being able to talk about your items and describe your items for 4 or 5 hours straight or 2 hours. Where's your limits? Where is it that you are like, hey, this is my sweet spot? I'm finding my sweet spot, 1.5 hours. I get close to 2 hours and I know I need to be done because I can't do it physically. I start to get to the point where it's just like, everything's coming down. Like I'm not as excited, that the love of the items isn't coming through because I'm over it, and it affects the prices. So that was kind of my like big eye-opening moment, is understanding it's not just about bringing it like when you show up, but it's understanding your limits within yourself. We discovered that evening night shows are not vintage. Hi Virginia, me too. I'm worse at night. I can tell I'm worse at night. And I should only be doing talk shows at night, that I don't need, as much selling and describing and, because energy, hold on. I've been struggling all week. Oh, well, you're nervous, Nelly. Thank you so much. When people are buying and chatting, I can sell for 5 hours. If not, if I'm out when I finish, exactly. Sometimes some people feed off the energy in the room. The more the room's chatting, the more people are talking, the more activity that pumps you up. For me, I don't want to say it's draining because I love that activity, but after about 2 hours, I think to me it just doesn't matter. But not everybody's like that. Some of you may have, look, I can go for 6 hours, but once I hit 6, I'm dead. Like I'm done. The point is understanding where that works for you. So energy doesn't mean screen. It does not mean let's go chat, let's go. No, it does not mean that. It is what you're bringing to the table. Start paying attention to that in yourself. Is there a point that it starts draining in you? Even though you have a smile on your face and you're still doing the thing, pay attention to how you feel and how the prices are happening, or how fast the bids are coming in, or how active your chat is. There is a direct correlation to the energy you bring, the presence that you have, and what's happening in your room. And start watching it and figure out how that connects with you. I love doing 2 big shows in one day, 2 days a week, and get there you go. But the rest of the week, it's not just shenanigans. It could be, but you're also recovering and you're recouping. And we're going to talk about taking some time for yourself. So part of understanding yourself is understanding what you can and can't do. Like, I love that Gretchen said that. It's like, look, I'm going to give it my all these 2 days. The other days are my days. The other days are for whatever else I need to get accomplished and recharge and refuel myself, right? So I realized for me, I love doing, the 7 a.m. slot in the morning and then taking the rest of the day, because when I'm drained at night, I could pack, I could sit at my computer. It doesn't take as much to come on, right? If you know you're not really prepared for a show, is it better to go on or not do the show? I struggle with this. So when you say prepared, Crystals, do you mean prepared as far as having everything perfect behind you, like inventory wise, everything's like your listings are there if you're doing listings? Or are you talking about yourself, your internal energy? Which one are you talking about? I focus on building my shop and my following 5 days a week, and it helps organize and there and where I'm doing right now 6 days a week, 1 day being YouTube, and the other 5 being whatnot. I want to go to 6 days. However, I've been thinking in my head, do I really want to do that Thursday morning, or do I want to take that Thursday morning as my recharge morning through the week? Having listings and items ready. So Crystals, you pose a very hard question, and you knew it was going to be hard. Let me read what Liz Lake says, and then I'll try to answer your question. I got to try to formulate my thoughts. I go live unprepared all the time. I just do 5 minutes and end if needed, but I go, okay, thank you, Liz. This is helping me. I agree. I am 100% against rescheduling shows. Unless it is a life emergency, an absolute rare occurrence, I'm 100 against, thank you, Crystals, rescheduling shows. I would rather somebody go on slightly unprepared and admit that they're unprepared and like, you know what, I was running up until last minute. Bear with me here, you guys. I'm going to need to grab this, that, and the other thing. I would much rather see that than a rescheduled show. Now, on the other side of that, I'm going to say, let's work on some systems, which I know you already are, but let's work on some systems so that doesn't happen as often. That's your kickoff speech every day. I know, Crystals, I know you're hard at work on systems.
I would put it as, think about your favorite coffee bar or your favorite coffee shop, and your customer is expecting you to be open, but you're tired and you don't want to, but you go and you open anyway. And then your best customer shows up and starts talking to you and starts telling you stories, and then out of the blue, there's a shift on your energy, and you realize that person that you didn't expect to have just came in and flipped the switch around.
There you go. Liz says that having systems for unprepared days helps so much. You have generic listings that are easy to clone and a spot that is always set up with lights. That's it. Having your systems in place takes half of that mental and physical energy away. Like, it removes the need for half of what the energy you're going to spend on it. It's there. It's ready. You just have to hit go live. Then you could focus what energy you have on actually doing the show versus, I got to do all these other things beforehand. It's like shipping, you guys. How many of you have a set up shipping station that you can just walk up to and ship versus I've got to go to the closet, I got to pull all my stuff out, I got to go over here and get this and set it all up in order to ship. So it's easier to walk up and do something than it is to have to set up and break down every single time. I agree with Tracy. Since completing the CEO challenge, I have been considered, oh, Lori, thank you so much. I'm glad that it helps your business. And as much as I want to say it is the CEO challenge, we're just offering tools. It is the people in the CEO challenge. It all comes from within you. Their success in any of this stuff, those are people like me, we're here doing chat shows. We're giving you tools. We're giving you information. All that success is because you guys have taken what you've heard and read and researched and are actually applying it. That's what makes the difference. When you're a full-time mother that runs a household and doing it all by myself with a hustle, I need help with it. That's free. I totally get it. I understand. I'm a full-time mom. I have a teenager at home who's very active in sports, and I work full-time. I've got a husband who most of you have known has been dealing with cancer for many, many years. So there's a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of things like that. There's days that he can't do things for himself and that I need to help him more. I get it. It is still possible. Now, is it possible to the same extent as somebody who does what, not full-time? No, probably not. We have to acknowledge our limitations. One of these things that we grow up with, at least a lot of women in my age, the 50 age group here, and maybe some of you younger ones. Good morning. I love discounts. We grew up being told that we are superwomen and we can do everything. Thank you, Liz. We grew up thinking you can do everything. You can be a working mom. You can have a full-time job and a career, and you can climb that corporate ladder, and you can have as many kids as you want, and you can have a happy marriage and all of this stuff. Well, you know what? That's a whole bunch of BS. I'm just telling you. Now, it's BS in the sense, and this is one of the things I tell the younger girls that I mentor on my 9-to-5 job. You can be a mom. You can climb the corporate ladder. Yes, those things can coexist, but there is give and takes. For every time you say yes to something at work, you're saying no to something at home. Every time you say yes to something at home, you're saying no to something at work. There is always the offset. Every time there's a yes, there's a no to something else. So the thought, I think we have been given this whole batch, and I'm going down a rabbit hole, but it's really important, this whole batch of lies that we could be everything. You can't be everything. There is no way you can give 100% to everything. Now, you go through different seasons of your life, and there may be some seasons that I'm more focused on my career. Maybe my kids are a little bit older. But you have to understand the reality of the world you live in, and that there's limited time and limited mental and physical capacity that everybody has. And then you create the systems that work best for you within those limitations. There you go. Cynthia's Attic, 71, burned out many times because I was doing it all. Me too. I mean, I've been there. I have been working 2 jobs my whole kid's life. My 3rd child was born when he was 5 months old. I went to college. I spent the first 10 years of his life, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and then sitting for the CPA exam while working full time. I understand burnout. I've been there. I've done it. And I'm at a point now where it's like, I don't want to burn out anymore. I'm going to, you know what? There are nights where I may have shipping there to do, and I look at Noelle and I'm like, tonight's a veg in the bed, watch movies on TV night. Like, I can't physically do it. I need to stop and take care of myself. And we're going to talk about that. Protecting your energy, part of that, like Gretchen pointed out earlier, is take care of yourself. Understanding the reality of the situation and then arranging your time to accommodate that. And that may mean that we can't be everything we want to be immediately. I want to take Zoe's treasures to the next level. I want to rule the universe. Not really. But, I have these visions and these dreams of this big Zoe's treasures empire. It's not going to happen right now. I understand that I have 40 to 50 hours a week that are dedicated to somebody else. So if that's the reality, right? Yes. Then there's my I have an idea days. Yes. Absolutely. Grinch Mom, 100%. That is probably one of my biggest regrets in life is that, yes, did I work my butt off? Did I provide, a roof over their head and took care of them and did what I needed to do to support them? 100%. How many, soccer games or school things or field trips, or I was never the PTA mom. Not that my personality is PTA mom personality, but there are many things that I regret with my kids. And I tell the younger women who are having babies at work now, I'm like, don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. That kid is only going to be 6 months one time in their life. They're only going to get that first tooth once. They're only going to be a kindergartner once. That's what's more important because the job can come and go. Any day, the job can come and go. Your career, you can continue to build it. Your kids matter more than any job out there. My mom was a full-time stay-at-home homeschool mom. Don't worry, kids don't notice that you're not there. And they really don't. Because sometimes my kids will make a comment about something and they're like, do you remember when we did this? And I'm like, I don't remember that at all. But it was some odd little moment that sticks out to them in their head as being the best moment ever. And I'm like, I don't remember that. I remember, the family vacations that were totally scheduled just to make sure that I was making memories, right? How we think about it is totally different than how the kids, but understand your limitations. So I do want to talk about, they remember that you were there for them. They really do. We were talking about bringing your energy to a show. There is a psychological term for this. It's called emotional contagion. What that means is that when you go into a room or when you're in an environment, people mimic what you're doing. So we mimic the people around us. We pick up on their moods, their attitudes, their mannerisms, their expressions, and we mimic what's around them. This is true in social media also. This is true in live selling. If you come into your room and you're grumpy and you're just, oh, what not is this? And no. That's what you're going to hear in your chat. You're going to hear everybody coming in and griping and bitching just like you are. If you come with that good attitude and you're happy and you're selling, you're asking questions, you are encouraging the exact type of behavior that you want in return. They're going to mimic you. I can guarantee you, think about this person. You guys cannot tell me this is not true because this is a perfect example. Every time you've gone into JJ Shopper's room and she laughs, she has the most contagious laugh I've ever heard. She laughs. Tell me that you don't smile when she laughs. I smile every single time I hear her laugh. That's emotional contagion right there. Okay, that is how what is happening. JJ Shopper, she's amazing. Josie, just look her up, go bookmark her. That's emotional contagion. That's what happens when you're on the screen and you're laughing and you're having fun. Guess what's happening on the other side of that screen? Even though you can't see it, it's happening. I guarantee you it is. I know if I don't care for the host, I'm out of there. It is. It's absolutely contagious.
And now you know why I don't get in the bubble.
Yep. TBC Productions the same way. Now they have a lot more. They bring like this super energy. Like they have physical excitement in their shows. And I can't help but to go in their shows and feel a little pumped up, right? So when my kids were little, I was worried about having the perfect house. Now I realize no one cared. I live in a, exactly. No, the kids least of all. Have you ever seen the memes where, you know, the thing where the mom leaves a sock on the stairs to wait and see how long somebody's going to pick it up? The kids don't even realize there's a sock on the stairs. Like, they don't even see that stuff. You watch my show to calm down. Thank you. Unless I get all fired up. There's days I get fired up. So emotional contagion. So think about that. Emotions spread like viruses. Okay. So how we're feeling, what we're bringing is going to spread in our room. So we want to think about that when we're coming into, when we're talking about protecting our brand and our energy, because what we bring is our brand, right? That's part of what we're branding here. Mine neither. Just saying, mine neither. So checking your mood before a show, we talk, how important that is.
Cut to her comma. She thinks I don't. Mine disappeared. There's gotta be a monster eating sock somewhere in the laundry. Because I tell you, mine just vanished.
I'm super pumped up, but something happens when I start showing my items and they're not selling. I lose it in the back of my mind. Rustic. Very common for all of us. Why we get discouraged. We start showing our items. Nobody's bidding. Nobody's commenting. Nobody's saying, oh, that's cute, or any encouragement whatsoever. So you're standing there wondering, is this the right item? Is the price right? Is there something wrong with it? Totally normal. The only way, in my opinion, is I'm busy waiting for the bed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The only way to overcome that, honestly, in my opinion, is confidence. Are you bringing the right? That is his real voice? Now you know part of why I married the man, right? Okay, there you go.
Ms. Melissa, I already gave up hope. I don't think they're coming back.
So, good morning, Living Bliss Vintage.
Hey, Shy. Good morning. Good to see you.
Aaron, I do, like when you're up there showing your stuff and nobody's talking and nobody's bidding and you're like, did I offend you? Did I say something wrong? It's not that. It's probably check yourself. What's your attitude? What's your confidence level? Are you like, this is a pen? And you're like, oh God, hopefully somebody likes this pen. Are you coming to it like, this pen is freaking amazing. You have never seen a pen that writes so smooth. So think about, what is that confidence you're bringing? If you don't have confidence in your items, confidence in your pricing, confidence in your policies, they're not going to have it, and they're not going to bid. They're not going to talk about it because they pick up on you. So check how you're feeling. Honestly, I know it sounds a little cheesy or funky, but check how you're feeling. If your room is absolutely quiet, I can guarantee it's something with you. So what can we do about this? What's something that we can do when we say, okay, well, if I got to check my mood before a show, if I got to check what I'm bringing, take 5 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes, that last 5 minutes or 10 minutes before a show, you drinking your coffee, taking a minute to breathe, taking a minute to relax, drinking your tea, whatever it is you do, but having that moment where you're focused on yourself, you're getting in the right headspace, that could be more productive for your show than spending the last 5 or 10 minutes running around like a madman trying to get everything perfect. Taking 5 minutes to do nothing but to center yourself and to prepare yourself could be more effective than putting more inventory on the shelf or listing that last thing or setting up that coupon. You've got to think about that. How you come is going to affect your show. I have so much confidence in my item. I can sell my items at a market, but something happens, I get on what, and I don't sell. My brain just don't overthink it. Let your excitement about your items come through. Talk about them. Those are your babies. Those are your pride and joy, best things that you have to offer. I'm going to come to your show. We're going to talk about it. Rustic, let's keep talking about this. We're going to keep moving on because I would love to see this change because I think everybody is capable of it. Don't overthink. There you go, Gretchen. Thank you so much. Don't overthink it. Just do it. I do explain what I've done and what I put in. I explain my shopping, where I go, and how to do it. Sometimes there's a balance, and it is a fine balance. It is hard to figure it out, and it takes practice. Talking too much, not talking enough. You hear people say, well, explain your items, make sure you're telling the call outs, and then you hear people say, keep up a good pace, you got to keep running. There is this invisible line somewhere, and it's a little bit different for all of us. You got to find where that line is for you, and what are your people responding to. So try to switch it up. Maybe if you feel you're talking a whole lot, try to shorten it a little bit, or do a 15-second auction and talk a little bit while the auction's running. How to market handmade products. So we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. It was last week or the week before. We were talking about handmade. Handmade's a completely different thing than something that I go buy and resell. 100% different concepts. Accounting, the theories of business apply, but the application is very different. So if you're just talking marketing, I think it is very similar. You're using social media, you're talking about it, it's word of mouth, you're doing all the same thing, you're having great pictures, you're showing the item in its best light, you're talking about the value of it, how it's made. One person definitely to watch on marketing for handmade is go check out what Liz likes in her soaps. She just doesn't say, this is a great smelling bar of soap. She tells you, it is made with this product, and there are a lot of names that I don't recognize, but the fact that I don't recognize them, and then she goes in and says, this is what that product does for your skin. This is why it's unique from anybody else making soap. She explains it to where all of a sudden I see a bar of soap that I can go and buy a bar of soap for $2 at Dollar General. By the time she's done explaining all of the different things in that soap, and we're not talking 10 minutes, we're talking a minute maybe of speech. That value of that soap has gone from $2 in my head to $15 or $20 for that bar of soap because of the uniqueness that she's put in. She almost makes me think like, man, I'm going to buy that soap and it's going to be like a spa in my shower. So I would definitely take a look at her just to get an idea on how this is done because she does it very, very well. I don't do handmade, so it's kind of hard for me to be able to tell you that. I can tell you how to describe something that you bought to resell. The other side with handmade is you've got to look at your pricing. Handmade pricing is very different. I would never suggest handmade people do dollar starts. I'm a big proponent of dollar starts, not for handmade. Handmade, oh yes, it is life-changing, 100% life-changing. I agree. Thank you so much. With handmade and your pricing structure, you have got to think a lot of handmade prices, they're not low priced items. There's a lot of time and effort put into it. Handmade is the only type of product that time matters, is when you're actually building or making something. So the handmade items are usually pricier. So when you start thinking about that, you may need to have different price groups. You may need to have entry points. So, stuff that's maybe $5 to $10 and then a little bit higher until you get to your final big, type of handmade product that may be hundreds of dollars. Somebody good to talk to about that and to listen about that is Custom Wood Burning. She's another handmade artist on this app, does wood burning as the name implies. And she talks a lot about various pricing points in marketing. So she's another one you may want to go and listen to within the handmade community. That's really, really good. We need to charge it for handmade. You have to, and like the Aaron Sphere, he sells resale stuff, patterns, sewing notions, but he also makes caftans, which is a handmade, item. And he had a whole show. He made caftans, a whole show that were priced at around $150 and or more and sold out. Did a whole sold out show that way. So it is possible to have handmade and sell it for prices that are realistic for your items. Can you take Custom Wood Burning for him, please? Good morning, Old Man New Creations. From a buyers, don't do dollar starts and complain. The seller makes me feel exactly. If you're going to do dollar starts, be prepared and be happy for somebody who wins it for $1. Absolutely. Bottom line. Bottom line. If you cannot be happy for somebody getting an item for $1 from you, you are not ready for dollar starts. And let me just real quick before we go on. Dollar starts are not for everybody. They're great. They're a tool. They do encourage bidding, but they are not for everybody. And one of these days we'll have a whole show on pricing. So just as much as I am a proponent for them and I think that they work really well, I also acknowledge that it is not the best avenue for every single business to take. So how about, we're still on, in case you're coming in case you're just joining, we're talking about protecting your energy and your brand today. So the next thing I want to talk about, boundaries preserve your professionalism. Now, when I say the word professionalism, I lose people because they think stuffy, uptight suits, banker, auditor, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about your business as a whole. Okay? So coming across knowledgeable, competent, being professional in your business, not the stuffy side of it, handling your business as it should be handled. There you go. Ivory Beauty did $20 starts the other day and did very well. So we have to do a whole show on starting prices someday because there's many reasons why you can do many different prices. Okay, so boundaries preserve your professionalism. Think about this. When you go into a retail store, that's where I used to piece out Girl Scout. Stuffy to me. Exact professional. It is. It's respectful. Think about this. When you go into a retail store and maybe you have a return, a dispute of some sort, and you go into that retail store, there may be 2 or 3 other people behind you in line that can overhear that interaction with you and that customer service person, right? In the real world, in the brick and mortar world, customer service isn't a huge public event. It's usually somewhat private. Again, only maybe a couple of people in line behind you may be able to overhear what's going on, unless, of course, you're making a big old scene. But on Whatnot, in our shows, customer service is a huge public event. Everything I do now, any type of service I provide, if someone were to say something in my chat, if I got anything going on right now, there would be 74 of you witnessing how I provide customer service. This is where the live selling and the retail differ drastically. So we have to keep that in mind, that our customer service is a public display when we are doing a show. So this is why your boundaries matter so much. And when I talk about boundaries, I am talking about the policies, the limitations that you put in place on how you're going to run your show and run your business. So people often look to others to see how do we act. And this is, I want to make this big distinction. When you first come onto Whatnot, there you go. Be the Chick-fil-A in a sea of Walmarts. I love that. When you first come on Whatnot, what did you do? You went to, probably, more likely than not, you went to different shows and you were like, okay, I'm going to start selling. And you started to see, well, these people allow promotions. These ones don't. These guys say refunds. These ones make a big deal about as is. These ones say this. And you start kind of gathering this information and molding yourself, right? Because we look at society to decide what's normal. There's an actual term for that called social proof, okay? But what we have to do is stop and consider our business and our boundaries. It doesn't matter what Bob, Sally, or Joe is doing in their shows. What matters is what your boundaries are. And understanding what your boundaries are before your show starts is going to protect your professionalism within your show. It's not bad to see what everybody else is doing, but you need to decide for yourself. Just because this person promotes doesn't mean you have to promote, or just because this person does dollar starts, or this person does free shipping, or this person yells at their chat, or this doesn't mean that we have to. But we're programmed like that. Our brains are programmed to gather all this social information and then make a decision based on what we deem to be an acceptable social behavior. It's different when it comes to whatnot. You need to make your boundaries your own for your show, regardless of what everybody else is doing. And we have a hard time with that because we're like, well, this guy's really big and he has 400 people in his room and he does it this way, so I should do it that way. And that's not the truth, because you can't enforce what somebody else does. You can only enforce what you're comfortable with and what you believe in. Hold on, am I missing something? I turn on explicit for all my shows for a reason. If you're someone who's offended by grown-up language, then you should start paying. Exactly. So, like Living Bliss Vintage, that's her boundaries. Like, look, I'm going to say these things, and if you don't like it, that's okay. You can leave. Like, you need to pay attention. And this is understanding. Again, we go back to understanding yourself. A lot of this is understanding yourself, protecting your energy and your brand. It is really knowing what you want and where you're going with your business. Good morning, Tober. So let's give some examples about this. What if somebody comes into your room and they say, how would you guys answer this? Okay. You're selling, you're doing your thing, and someone in your chat says, oh, I saw that cheaper on eBay. What would you say? Do you already know right off the top of your head, or are you scrambling? Because when you're in the moment, when we're here in the moment, that's hard. Unless you're planned for it, that's hard to come up with that off the top of your head. It throws me off my game. Okay, good for you. You're not eBay. That's awesome. Better buy it. Congrats. I ain't eBay. Figure out your lane. Yes, Crystals, I love that. Good for you. Did you buy it? Okay, now stop and think. Living Bliss Vintage right there. That I want everybody who answered really quick, just take a minute. Does that response that you put in there represent your brand and the way you want your brand to be seen? Would you actually say those words? No, it's cool in the chat here. It's cool. But if it's in your show doing your thing, is that how you want? The one that I see here that I would be like, I think that's a good professional response. I'd be happy to sell it on eBay for you 3 times as much. Let me know how I'll make you a listing, right? Blasian Bunny suggests to put cheaper and expensive. You could. If there are words that are distracting to you or that you don't want in your show, 100%, absolutely. Liz says, I'd say it's the only thing you're looking for. eBay is the place to buy it. If you want other items with great shipping, you may want mine. How about something like, that's awesome. We have choices and there are a lot of great items to be found. There you go. Now, the first thing that happens when we heard that, when I said, I've seen that on eBay cheaper, what happened to all of us as sellers? We're like, screw you, right? Instant. It's like, I want to attack you back, right? That's normal behavior. That's not professional behavior that protects your brand. It is hard to take a breath and respond professionally. There may be cheaper options. I understand each person has to purchase in a place that works for them. There you go. Professional brand protecting responses. Okay. I am right with y'all. When somebody says something in my room, I'm like, see you later, alligator, right? But is that protecting our brand? What would mine is here. I put one down for my response. That's your choice. Every seller prices differently. I appreciate you being here though. Or any type of something along those lines. Okay. Professionalism, when we talk about professionalism, isn't something that's measured when everything's easy. When you're doing your show, it's clicking, you're making money, the chat's popping, everything's going great. That's not when people are going to measure your professionalism. They're going to measure your professionalism when you answer those stupid comments, when you answer the rudeness. They're going to measure your professionalism when they ask you for a refund and based on your reply. That's how you get measured. Professionalism in everybody else's eyes is going to only be seen in those difficult moments. Here's what I for Beauty would do. Oh, hold on. Let me read some type of Southern. I reinforce better shipping prices. There you go. Yeah. Well, and that's just it. Just turn it into a positive. Often when someone makes a comment like that, other customers in the chat will come. They will. If you have regulars in your room, they will come to your defense. Here's what I do in that situation. Try to never discount something, but add something to it and offer pieces for slightly larger amount. I for Beauty, that may work. I don't think that would be my go-to because I feel that's reacting in an emotional way. I am now changing my pricing structure or what I'm offering because of what somebody said to me versus me making that a predetermined decision to do. You could ignore it. You could absolutely. There are comments in my chat, and just if I don't reply to a comment doesn't mean I'm always ignoring you. But there are times when there are comments that I'm just like, we're just going to keep moving. We're not even going to pay it any mind. But not all buyers' items, the experience. Hold on. I appreciate your painting, cool. But not all buyers buy items, but the experience of the moment. Yeah, exactly. 100%. On Whatnot, we are not, items are secondary on Whatnot. The experience comes first. Yes, people buy items, but they're buying the experience. This is why you can go into some shows, and I always hold them out as an example in a good way. House of Coop will sell the exact same items for more money than I will because you're buying the notoriety, the experience of buying from House of Coop. And that's okay. They earned that. They worked their butts off to it. And someday that's going to happen to me. Someday somebody's going to buy a Zoe's Treasures experience. It's going to happen for every single one of us someday. So that's totally, they're buying an experience as much as they're buying an item. If the item is $100 and somebody wants it for less, I offer an additional item and ask $135 for both. As long as I'm okay with the theory, like I for Beauty, like the application of that, if it's something we've decided ahead of time. What I don't believe in is emotional discounting when you're making those decisions on the fly based on the wants of somebody else or the words of somebody else. When it is an emotional, like I've got to do this in order to keep somebody happy, or I've got to do this and make sure I don't get a bad review, or to make sure they don't leave, that's when it's not okay. When it's a predetermined, hey, this is how I'm going to handle these situations. I'm going to bundle these items and offer that. They're two very different situations. One is you being in control and the other is you being emotional discounting.
I have a response. You're probably going to find it cheaper on eBay, but you're not going to find this lovely bunnies on eBay.
Hey, everybody. Please
Gotta
put
bring out the
bunnies in
sexy
chat.
bunnies. Just distract them.
Ooh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Woot woot.
Nervous Nelly. I'm not going to tell you if that's okay or not, and you've got to decide that for yourself on what works for your business. But I would ask you, if somebody says something like that in your chat, I see it cheaper on eBay, and then you respond, would you like to red chat me a different price? Are you not opening the door for everybody else to do the same thing? Are you not opening the door? If you're okay with taking offers, if you're okay with discounting your items, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. If you're okay with that, then that's a perfectly fine response. If you have determined your prices and you're like, no, my prices are my prices, and you only want to offer discounts at specific times that you choose to, then that wouldn't be a good thing to say. So it just depends on your business model and how you want to approach it. With things in my bin, had moved far away months ago of taking offers. I'm pricing the things in the bin for the price that they need to be. And if you don't like it, then that item's not for you. As harsh as that may sound, I'm not going to discount them anymore. I know the prices are good. I know they're less than where you can get them at other places. I'm not going to make it even more of a discount. I offer coupons. I give you the discounts that I'm willing to give you up front. And if you ask, I'm going to politely decline your discount, your request for a lower price. Is it hard to set firm prices on second or third hand merchandise? Be prepared to switch it up and add more value. I don't think it's hard to set firm prices. If you believe in your price, then set your price. Now, I believe that buyers actually determine the value. I could set the price to whatever I want. Doesn't mean anybody's ever going to buy it at that. I may then have to reevaluate my price. It may be too high. Or maybe I price it and it flies out the door and I realize, oh, I priced that too low. you've taken that offer button off because you feel the same way. if I'm taking the time to put a photograph on it, to put it in the bin, to do that, that's the price it's going to be. Occasionally I'll pull something from the bin and run it for $1. You want to stick around in my shows long enough, you're probably going to see something come up for $1 that's in the bin. I'm actually on a whole venture to thin out and remove things from my bin. Slowly but surely I'll get there. Okay. So boundaries, let's talk about we're talking about the boundaries. Boundaries are decisions you make ahead of time. So how you reply to the rude people in the chat or those requests, these are things that you want to do on the spur of the moment. Take some time. What are your policies? How do you feel that you want to run your business? Think about it ahead of time. Your boundaries are something you set ahead of time. Some examples. I don't debate prices. Grain 13 says no comps in my chat. That's his boundary. Okay, he knows that. He's going to enforce it. He doesn't have to be wishy-washy. He doesn't have to be like, oh, well, that was an okay price. We'll let that one slide. Nope, no comps in my chat. It's a boundary. People respect boundaries. It's safety. Boundaries are actual safety. They're rules. They're guardrails on how we behave in a certain situation. People actually appreciate when you have some boundaries and not when you're all over the place and willy-nilly, because then it's like, well, what do you stand for? When I want to get rid of something out of my bin, I usually, when you're ready in your time, when you decide you want to discount it, not when they decide they want a cheaper price. There's a big difference there. That's that emotional discounting, is when you feel bullied or pushed into making a change of some sort in your price by some outside force. That's not you running your business. That's them running it for you. And your customers like rules that apply to everyone. Absolutely. What are we doing? He's distracting me. I'm on a roll, and what do you want to do, my love? I'm not selling anything today. No, go. He's like, no, I'm not selling anything today. How do you feel about this? See, there's my boundary. I'm not selling anything. If it's not in my bin, I'm not selling it today. How do you feel about seller trading cards? Let me answer this in I see nothing wrong with seller trading cards. They're not for me. I have nothing against them. There are quite a few people who like them. I have chosen not to invest in that for a couple of reasons. One, it doesn't fit my brand. We're talking about protecting your brand. That doesn't fit my brand. So we'll show you one, Melissa. We have a few that we've gotten as giveaways. So it doesn't fit my brand, so I'm not doing it. That's kind of on topic what we're talking about. Two, I believe for me as a business, any inventory that I buy, anything that I want, that I'm going to sell, must also have a value outside of Whatnot. Any item that I have on my shelves right now, I can put on eBay, I can put on Poshmark, I can put on Mercari, I could put on Facebook Marketplace. If something were to happen on Whatnot, I can take all of those items and sell them somewhere else. I do not believe that the trading cards that are highly popular right now hold any value outside of Whatnot. So therefore, it does not fit within the boundaries I have set for my inventory. Here, let me show you what one is. So this is the trading cards. This is one that we got as a, who is this? Oh, Thrifty Drew Nicole. Oh, here it goes. We'll put it here. So this is Thrifty Drew Nicole. I have nothing against, oh, you can't, the light. There you go. So those are seller trading cards. They're highly popular. People are collecting them left and right. Thank you so much. We got it. That was the first one I ever got. I got that but way a long time ago. I wanted it as a giveaway from Thrifty Drew Nicole. So I don't want to be misunderstood or taken wrong. Because I choose not to do it for my business doesn't mean that I have an objection to them or that I think anything's wrong with them. It's just not what I choose to do. Let's see. What am I missing? Okay, we got it. What does no comps in the chat mean? It means that if I hold something up, that you're not going to go to eBay and say, oh, that's worth $600 or that's worth $30. It hurts your sale. When you allow that, and again, this is Green 13 doesn't allow in his chat. I normally don't really care for it. I don't necessarily have a rule about it, but it affects the price that you're going to get for the item. So that's why he doesn't do it. It's either going to affect it good or it's going to affect it bad, but it's going to affect it, and you don't have control over how comps affect the sale of your item. So that's that. I do not want to be taken wrong. you could say something on Whatnot and it get twisted. So I want to be very careful. I've avoided that question for a good year now. But that's that. Okay. So some of the other boundaries. Okay. Some of the other boundaries that you might want to think about are no promoting. Maybe you promote, maybe you don't. But how are you going to handle promotions? Can I shoot him? Can I shoot him? He's driving me insane. Oh man, I don't got a bullet in there. Jeez. Okay. He wants me to tell you, to put it in perspective, another reason why we don't do trading cards is that I have my own rewards cards, and I feel there would be a conflict in how I do my rewards cards with trading cards. Now my husband can be happy that I told you that. It's like sports. It's not about the individual home runs or goals. It's about the final score. So sometimes sacrifice bunt to advance the final score. I like that. I like that eye for beauty. And sharing the truth. Look, Nervous Nelly, I'm always going to tell you the truth. And I'm going to try to be kind about it. But exactly, my rewards cards are like my trading card. That's my thing. I feel that represents my brand. It goes in line with everything that I try to do here. So I need my face on my card. Nobody needs my face on a card. Just saying. Nobody needs that. So think about some of the examples of things you may want to, for your show, set boundaries around. What are the things, it gives you a discount. What are the things that you hear in your show that may trip you up? What are you going to do if you get a troll? What are you going to say if somebody is rude in your chat? What are you going to say if maybe they ask, if they talk about politics or religion, and maybe you don't want to talk about those things? How are you going to handle that? And it's not just in your chat. What about just in general, like how are you going to handle if the same person is bidding on all of your items? Is that a problem to you? It wouldn't be a problem to me, but I've had that question asked of me. How do I handle this? So think about all of those things that come up, and those are your boundaries. How you reply and respond to those things protects your brand. Your CEO cards are collectibles, reminders of things we should. There you go. See, I have CEO cards too. Didn't even think about that. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, and I don't buy them neither. It's just not a way that I choose to spend my money. But we have them. You see, I have them posted up in my shipping area from ones that I have won on giveaways. It's just an example, Josie. I have heard people have asked me questions where they'll say, "Hey, I run a show, and it's one person who outbids everybody else, and my other buyers are getting discouraged. How do I handle that?" That may happen in your show. I'm just trying to come up with examples of things you may want to think about ahead of time to set boundaries around. And when I say boundaries, I mean, how do you respond? When you're in the moment, I am like zoomed in, focused on what I'm doing in the moment so often that people will put stuff in the chat just to see if it goes over my head, which it does most times. But so focused in that when something like that happens, when there's a comment or something weird occurs, maybe you got a tech difficulty. How are you going to recover from a glitching or whatnot being whatnotty? How do you recover from that? When these things happen, instead of it throwing you off your game, if you've already established what you do, you can keep moving right along. Like a coupon for the next purchase. Sharon, yes. So real quick, I'll tell you about my rewards card since you asked. So I do 9 1/4. You can see the different colors because we're 2 quarters in. We actually just released our third set. So we have 3 colors now. I don't know if I have all 3 here. And each card is a coupon. So there's a coupon code on the back. And that is worth $2 off that purchase. Then if you check my show notes, you can combine cards to make larger amounts off. So various cards combined together. Every show has a different combination. The more you buy, the more cards you get, the more money you save. That's how my rewards cards work. So Crick and Nick's favorite find says, I would say, I'm so glad you all love this item. There you go. If you were a store, you wouldn't stop a customer from purchasing, so it wouldn't bother me if a buyer was picking things. Exactly, the guys in that type of situation, I'm like, go for it. It's open. It's open to bid. There's like no friends in the auction, right? When you're bidding, you're bidding. I mean, been bidding against people that are my customers in auctions before. Sometimes it feels weird. Why does it feel weird? Because this is a social app and we've gotten to know people. So now all of a sudden we put this emotional element into our purchasing that we have never really had to deal with in a store before. Liken it to maybe you're going thrifting with your best friend and you both eye that hen on the nest and you guys are like this. And it's like whoever grabbed it first, right? I mean, there's... From someone who is thinking about selling, how do you handle payment rejects? On a show recently, 5 winning bids in a row. Seam bills, I used to call that out. I probably in the last, 8 months or so have changed my opinion on that. The buyer knows their payment didn't go through. You don't need to embarrass them on the whole show. You don't need to say anything. It doesn't go through. If they have time to fix it by the end of the show, if they don't fix it, guess what? You have something to put in your very next show. Just resell it at a later date. Don't call them out. It's embarrassing to them. We all know what happens. Banks can be finicky. Sometimes they don't like multiple transactions. Let it be. Sometimes maybe they thought they had the right card in there and they didn't. They have no money on that one. I just don't see a good way that it comes across. Now, I used to say something because why did I say something? I saw other people saying it. When I first started on Whatnot, that's social proof. I saw this is how other people handled it. And so that's what I did until you start thinking about it. Like, no, that's not how I want to run my business. There you go. I love discounts. Exactly. The banks can be crazy about it. If they don't fix it, then obviously they didn't want it enough or they didn't have the money to begin with. Let it be. Sell it to somebody else. When I first heard you say it, don't come anymore, and it makes me feel, yeah. It's awkward for us to say something too. No matter how nice you put it, it's very awkward for you to say, hey, bank's being funny, go check the, it doesn't feel good for me neither. Just, they know. Let it be. I had to remind people just yesterday that it's perfectly acceptable to bid against each other because I sold something one person asked for. Exactly. All the time. When I would do the reverse auctions and somebody would put run in the chat, yay, you're coming to the meetup. Thank you so much, Sage and Lace. When somebody in the reverse auction, when they would say run, I would always have to say, all right, we're going to run it at this price. It's open for bidding to everybody because people would think, oh, they said run, then only them can bid on it. Amex does a welfare check if they don't see charges from one. That's how the Amazon is at my house. That is like, if my postman doesn't put things on my front porch, he thinks something's wrong with us. So when we talk about policies, just keep in your head, you don't need to invent something on the spot. If you have a policy in place, you have a rule to follow, makes it so much easier for you. Your mail carrier hates you. Oops, I'm clicking on weird things. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about boundaries and Green 13. Yes, my love? He's pointing out something that I'm missing it. Good morning. I'm not seeing it. Oh, good morning, Sassy Vintage Chick. I went right over that. Good morning. Welcome in. I wish Whatnot would put in the summary if a payment failed. Sometimes I ship my show and have something left over and get worried I missed it. Yeah, that's a big miss on Whatnot's part. I think a lot of us have complained about the same thing. 100% agree with you. I had a comment the other day from buyers because I was outbidding them constantly on items. It's an auction. And if you're willing to pay more, good for you. Good for you. I mean, and if you're that person buying everything, that's okay too. That's okay. That's right. We're giving our mail carriers job security by continually to drop off truckfuls of packages. So here's the other boundary I want you to think about. Green 13 was talking about this last night and choice overload and the mental overload of looking at things. Think about your bin too. You should have boundaries not only on what you buy, but how much you're putting in your bin. How many of you like to go into a show and open somebody's bin and there's 400 items? Just throw something in, put an emoji in if you like that. If you think 400 items are like, oh, I love scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Nobody's putting emojis in. It's too much. Think about your boundaries in your bin. Does your bin, here's the other thing. Does your bin represent your brand? If you're selling clothing, why do you have automobile parts in your bin? That may be a little extreme. Think about it though. Does your items that are in your bin represent the brand that you're trying to create and enforce? I know what you meant when I said, see, it was worth it. Where is the happy spot? If you want to know the Green 13 method, which is based in scientific research, it's 7 items, 7 to 10 items. I would say my personal preference is around 50, maybe, no more. How many times do you want to swipe before you get bored? Just try it. Just for your own personal kind of thing. Go into people's bins and start swiping. At what swipe do you start to get bored? Use that as market research to figure out what you should do. Not copying, not social proof, but when do you start to be like, okay, enough, I'm not even looking. My friend clicked a link to me and it can see all of my inactive listings. That's weird. How is that possible? My friend clicked a link to me and I can see. Estate addicts, I am not sure what you're asking. You may have to DM me and we can get into it. I don't know what you're asking. When I look in the bin and it has an all eBay style stuff, not matching the vibe for sale because it sells on eBay. What Liz likes, 100%. 100%.
So she's missing a little bit of information with that statement from Jeremy. The idea that Jeremy posed was because this is a live selling platform, which means that in his idea of things, you would be selling the items live, not necessarily have static listings, because he doesn't have static listings. And that's the reason why he pitched the 7 to 10 number.
Well, the 7 to 10 was backed in research, but that's the thing. I'm talking about not in a marketplace. I'm talking about the bin. During a show, a live show, and you click on their bin, how many times are you going to scroll? How many things in there is too much? Think about that. And I think Liz makes a really good point. You know instantly if it's just a copy and paste from eBay. The pricing structure is weird. The way the description is different than the way you would do it on Whatnot. You can tell instantly. And it is a turnoff. 200 when I'm searching a specific item and I don't have time to wait and bid, but just got to search by name. But here's the thing. I know Whatnot says people come here from other platforms and they search. But once they get used to the live selling and they're in shows, are they really searching by name within your bin? Are you really going into somebody's bin and searching by product name? Unless somebody says, oh, hey, I have some hens on the nest. Go put hen in there and go look for them. They'll all pop up. Or I have this or that. Your odds are that's probably the least used behavior within a bin during a show. Whatnot is actually a hybrid of selling platform offering options for sellers. It is, but is a live selling platform above all. So just for consideration, think about what do you have in your bin? What are the boundaries around that? Does it support your brand? Does it support what you want to stand for, what you represent, the type of items you sell? Is it just your leftover crap? Is it, maybe you're putting higher end items in there? If you're a clothing seller, is it clothing? Is it other stuff? Maybe that's where your accessories are going. If you're a clothing seller, you're helping them fill out the whole wardrobe by some earrings and a necklace to go with the shirt. And then when you sell the shirt, you can also bring those items up and show them. So think about how you're using that within the whole concept of your brand. I think Whatnot means if they are searching for an item, yes, and that's what Whatnot says, that's the main behavior, and that's why I don't think it applies to a show behavior. I like a full bin, especially if I'm using estate sale category. People ask for stuff and coins, etc. But Sassy, if you're in the estate sale category, then I would expect when I go into a storage unit or estate sale for their bin to have more of a variety of items because of the nature of the category they're in. But if I'm in a clothing show or if I'm in a jewelry show, I don't expect to really see too much outside of those categories, because then I'm like, well, why is that there? It confuses me as a buyer, like, The bin can be very distracting at times. I am live on handmade category. I just put handmade items that didn't sell last show. And that's fine. Putting your item, I have nothing against the bin. I'm making a personal choice to move away from it, but that doesn't mean I think bins are bad. More often I filter by price if I'm wanting to help them with the sale. close to 1K on a competition train. And that makes a lot of sense. If you're just wanting to fill your box, and that's a good way to use the bin. If you want to fill your box, go in there and search by price, and maybe I can find a couple $2, $3 items just to fill my box up that I like and I would purchase. Sort low to high. Utilize all the features and avenues that Whatnot provides to maximize your potential sales. Yeah. There are a million ways to Whatnot. I for Beauty, I agree. A million ways for Whatnot. Because I do it a certain way doesn't mean that my way is good for everybody else. I'm going to do my best to bring you pros and cons of the way I do things so that you can okay, I see it. Now I'm going to go make a decision. Right? Let's keep talking about sport and rewatch. So it's, there you go. And there's nothing wrong with that. Brands are built daily. So think about your brand. Your brand, when we think about our brands, first off, when I say brand, what do you guys think? What does that make you think of? When you think about your brand, what are you thinking? We'll talk about Buy It Now flash sale. Me, logo, vibe, what sets you apart, what you're known for, character. Awesome. I love that you guys are going to this because that's really what your brand is. Your brand is your reputation. Your brand is you. So many people would say logo, banner, colors, bio. That's important. Yeah, we should have those things on point, but that's not your brand. That's not you. All of you guys are hitting it, the nail on the head right there. The brand is you. It's what you're offering, that quality, that service, the show representation. It's what's coming out, the vibe in your room. That's your brand. How you respond. The core essence of your business is your brand. Then that is represented through all of these visual things like your logo, your color scheme. That just ties it together. That gives a visual representation, but the actual brand, it's like what Southern Charm put in there earlier. Chick-fil-A in a Whatnot world. You go to Chick-fil-A because you expect that customer service. They're known for that customer service. That customer service, that fast-moving drive-through line has nothing to do with the logo or the color scheme or how it looks on the outside. It's the core of how they operate. Whereas Walmart operates completely different, right? So when we think about brands, they're built daily. They're not built through your logo or through all these other things, the visual representation that we're talking about. It's built daily in all of those little things. So think about your brand like you're building a brick wall. You know, one brick is a show, and then a package, and then shipping time, how you responded to somebody, the social media post. And you're building your brand brick by brick by brick by all these little daily things that are happening. And when you're consistent with that and you're doing it the same over and over, you get this 500 bricks in the Buy Now. You get this nice, strong representation. But when you miss one or two, well, that's okay. Maybe I missed a thank you here or something broke over here in shipping. That's okay. But when that starts happening over and over, you're inconsistent. You don't do the same things. You're not following the same boundaries. Everybody starts seeing all the holes and the cracks in that wall, right? So your brand is built in being consistent. There's that word, consistent, day after day in all of the little things. That's how you're building your brand. This is why those boundaries and your policies mean so much. Understanding and deciding how are you going to handle these things end up building up day after day. Because if one day you're like, nope, we're not doing any refunds, and then somebody messages you and you're like, okay, I'll give you a little money over here on the side. Or one day you're PayPaling people refunds, and the next day you say, nope, we're only going to go through the Whatnot system, which is how you should do it. Just saying, use Whatnot's features. But if you're wishy-washy and you're changing every day, what does that tell me about you? It means that you don't know who you are, right? What do you stand for? So think about it like that. When people hear your name, what do they immediately think when they hear your name? Scuba Stevio. What's a couple of words that come to their mind when they hear your name? CSV Crystal, you're right, they do. Great show, funny, you're all. Old May New Creations, no idea? I'm hoping you're saying you have no idea. Depends on who hears it. Yeah, the haters think something different than the people who actually care for me, right? Farmhouse. So think about this. What do you want? Thighs. Yeah, sometimes living bliss. Maybe the more the OG people. I don't know if the new people really think that, but probably the OG people do. That's why you only do it once a week, because you're trying to change that brand image, right? Crystals, totally get it. Supportive. This is what you want to go for. What defines you? Every company has core values, or they have little words, acronyms that they live by. What's yours? What is the thing that you want people to remember you by? Think about that. How, and is your daily behavior, is your brick by brick by brick, everything you're doing leading into that and supporting that image that you want them to have of you? And so we kind of go back to, when I said, and I don't want to bring the whole topic up again, but this is a perfect point to talk about it. When I said, hey, the trading cards just aren't my thing. They don't represent my brand. Because when I think about everything I do on a day-to-day basis, that's where I can instantly say, no, it doesn't fit what I'm doing. It makes having your decisions, if you know what your goal is, what you're aiming at, what you want people to think about, it makes all the rest of these policy decisions really clear and easy to make and to stick to. Forget me not versus forget me already. What are you talking about, my love? Sweet and supportive of others. I'm new, just started picking up some good sales, and I've considered changing my name because it's difficult to read. Is this a good idea? Shop the Gingham Square. Okay, everybody in the chat, yes or no on changing Shop the Gingham Square? I would say it doesn't have to be changed, but make it easier to read. Maybe an underscore or two might help you out. I have difficulty with a lot of letters together because I see the word as a whole, which many people do, and they're hard to read. I appreciate a well-placed underscore in names. Just saying. Colorful and loud. The perfect blend of tactile and visual chaos. Yes, everybody's like underscores. Sometimes it's not just the name, it's just making it easier for people to read it properly. I always tell the story. Old Made New Creations, I'm going to pick on you for a second. The first time Old Made New Creations came in my room and bought from me, and the names all together, and I read it as Old Maiden. And I called her Old Maiden throughout the whole show until afterwards when I was shipping, and because I was trying to read it fast in the midst of everything, when I was shipping and it was slower and I looked at the name and I'm like, oh my God, I felt so bad. Her name is not Old Maiden. It's Old Made New Creations. So think about that. Just a well-placed underscore can really help. Hard to read right for the first time. Brains will go for ginger. Absolutely. Yes, brains will go for ginger. They will.
Liz, and that's the reason why I couldn't find you the other day. I'm like, where in the world is Liz? Yeah, underscores. Thank you.
And the irony that I spell Zoe with an X is not lost on me when we talk about names. Yeah, I get it. So if you're a buyer and become a seller, can your seller name be different? As a buyer, I'm C Mills. When I sell, I sell. If you have a different account, you can have different names, but I would ask why. Why would you not want to continue your branding and your networking under just your seller account? Now, we all have a research account. At least most of us have a little account on the side where we just want to be unknown people. I don't have a problem with that. But to have two different, I would question the purpose of it. You may have a very legitimate reason why, but I would question the purpose of it. Because part of going in other shows and networking and buying, you don't always have to buy, but being around people, being part of that community, does help promote your selling name. Oh goodness, estate addicts. I cannot read. Okay, I just got a red chat. I just cannot read what was said, but y'all could see estate addict's name and see how that could be mispronounced. Yeah, I would say put it to your seller name. Okay, I can't read that out loud. Yeah, y'all can use your grown-up imaginations to figure out how estate addict's name could be misconstrued. So, let's keep moving on to calm builds your credibility. Credibility. That's a hard word to say. Keep it your seller name, but remember and conduct yourself accordingly. Always. You are always being watched. Even when you think nobody's in your room, you're always being watched. You're being watched when you make comments in somebody else's room. So think about your brand in that sense too. Me and Noelle often have comments about how to phrase things, how to respond to a message. Should I say this in chat or should I not? Because everything you say, once you become a seller, every word you put into a chat is a representation of who you are and what your brand is. Everything you say. Does that mean you can't cut up, you can't have fun, you can't be funny? No, it doesn't mean that. Do you guys do it too? So Southern Charm, Tim's her husband. Then they talk about everything you write in a chat gives somebody a chance to make an impression about you. So consider that when you go into rooms. There are times where I'm like, I'll go into other chat shows a lot, and so I'll see Sassy Vintage Chick in there too, and it's like maybe a newer seller giving advice that's wrong. I think twice before I'm like, should I correct her? Should I correct her out loud? Should I put it in the chat? Should I just shut my mouth and walk away? Because it represents who I am. Do I want to come across as the Miss Know-It-All, Smarty Pants, correcting everybody? Or do I want to come across as this is a helpful comment? I joined only to be a buyer, now considering selling. Well, good for that. Oh, selling on other platforms. Oh, on other ones use Frugal Rooster and sell. Yeah, absolutely be consistent with it, because then when you do your social media, it starts tying it all together and you have this large brand, not just a whatnot brand. Even your reviews. Yes, a patina penny. Everything you put represents who you are. You are now on a public forum. I'm in trouble. I try just to have a good time. Me as a buyer is not as serious as me as a seller. Don't misinterpret that. I don't think you can have fun and cut up and joke and laugh. But let's face it, the brand that I have is more of this kind of conservative tax accounting. We can have fun. I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm going to be passionate about things. But I don't have the brand of I'm going to dress up funny. I'm going to do dances. I'm going to do this. And if I did that, people would be like, I mean, it may be entertaining to some degree, but people would be like, what's going on with Tracy? That's not who Tracy is. It's not what people have come to expect from me. It's not the brand that I've created, right? So just keep that in mind. Are we confusing people or are we bringing them in to a brand? People like seeing customer. So yeah, but this part of your brand is your Southern accent. When you talk, I can't do it as well as you. When you talk in your Southern accent, or when you do some of, different what do they call it? Not voices, but like different characters. People come to expect that though, but you've built that up. Like that's an expectation of what you've created in your brand. Everybody needs soap. You need soap, go see Liz. I signed up under a pretty generic name. Now I want to rename myself a catchier name for my whatnot. Yeah, absolutely. Kimmy, Mammy, you can go in and you can go into your settings and change it as long as you don't have any transactions in process. So no like sales coming or going. You can go and change it. If not, you can email whatnot and they will help you change it. So you can absolutely do it. And it really turns me off. When sellers I love come to my shows, I get so excited. I straight up fangirl. You do, Aaron. I'm telling you, y'all just need a little pick me up. You need a little ego boost. Aaron's a guy. So is the other person that gives you a good ego boost when you go to their room. Not that anybody else doesn't do a good job of recognizing, but Aaron Sphere will absolutely makes you feel like, wow, and so does Nine Dimes. If you ever go in Nine Dimes room, he's just full of energy. Anyways, he does all of his shows like in an auctioneer style, talking fast, and does these little songs and stuff. But he'll make you feel like you are just the queen of the world when you come into his room. I got a special message from a bigger seller letting me know that their info was junk in the show. I appreciate him listening for pure. I'm not sure what you're saying, Gretchen. Explain to me a little bit more. I'm just missing what you're saying. Oh, gets all giddy, mama gets all giddy. Awesome. Okay, so calm builds credibility here. Subconsciously, there is something that our brains always are asking. Always. You may not realize your brains are asking it, but our brains are always asking, am I safe here? This is something that's going on constantly in our heads. When you walk into a new situation, when you enter a room, Anything you're doing, your brain is constantly saying, am I safe here? And it's not physical safety, it's emotional safety. So calm builds that credibility. Part of what we do, and this may sound a little hokey to some of you, but part of what we do as a seller is offer the safety in our room. So part of our boundaries protect people's safety in our room. We want buyers, people hanging out, supporters to come into our room to be able to kick their feet up and relax and enjoy our show. They can't do that if they don't feel safe. How do they feel safe with you? It's by how you conduct yourself and that professionalism and the calmness that you bring. Now, can you be a TBC excited and let's go and and still bring a calm to your room and a safety? 100%, because it comes from how you respond. The more safe somebody feels in your room, the more they're going to talk, the more they're going to spend. So we want to think about how our calmness builds, one, our credibility and how we reply and what we do, and builds that safety for our buyers. So there's a whole research that talks about emotional regulation and how that calm of leaders influences everybody else. I want to give you an example to make this really real. Think about two parents, one of them goes off to work, one stay at home. I don't care if it's a mom or dad. Make it whichever one you want. So you got your stay-at-home parent, you got your parent at work. The one at work comes in the door, busts through the door, and they're like, oh, the dishes aren't done, and there's toys on the floor, and where's my dinner? And no. And oh my God, my day was terrible at work. What does that do instantly for that household? Instantly, the household gets tensed up, kids go quiet, the other parent is like, oh, right? It sets that mood. The same thing happens when we come to our shows. We come busting into our shows, dang this and dang that, no. We're removing emotional safety from our room. So we want to bring that calmness. We want to bring that calmness, which creates our credibility in the room. Where do we see this? You're like, okay, Tracy, that's cool with that personal story, but how does this affect that calmness? When you have tech difficulties, how are you reacting to that? Are you like, oh my God, whatnot? Are you just like, y'all, we're having some tech difficulties. Just hang in there with me. We're working on it. We're going to get it fixed. And maybe if you can't fix it, hey, we can't fix this. We're going to have to cancel or end the show. We're going to try this again. Maybe we'll be back on in an hour. So how your calm is going to affect everything else, how your attitude, we talked about your energy, but your calmness, your professionalism.
I have to agree with Follow That Bug.
What does that follow that bug say?
Oh, you missed it. You're too wrapped up on... You missed it.
I missed it. I'm going to go back up and see. Well, say it. All right. My love.
Lips are sealed.
Goodness gracious. All right. So he's not going to tell me. And I missed it. I'm searching the chat frantically like a mad woman over here. So you're a medic by trade. You have to remain calm. So you should be a medic girl of anybody here. Anybody who is trained in that type of thing would attest to. If you're anxious, if you're upset, if you're freaking out, you're not producing anything good going on, right? You're the leader. I've talked before about the tone at top. Good mornings, Empress. The tone at the top, right? You set the tone for everything that happens. This is your room, your show, your experience, your environment that you are bringing everybody along with. You're responsible for that calmness. So we're talking tech difficulties, rude people, glitches. Whatnot's being whatnotty again. Let's deal with it, right? Instead of, oh, dang whatnot, it never works when I press that button. I had a good reminder of this, in-person reminder. Those of you who have been in my selling shows know we print labels down here. I have this printer. They go extremely slow. It drives me freaking crazy that they go so slow. For a good handful of shows, I would complain about it every time. Every time I would complain about it. And then you know what? Truth is kindness. I Love Discounts messaged me, or we're on the phone, and they said, girl, you got to stop. Quit complaining about it. Quit complaining about it. You're killing the vibe in your room. Don't complain about it. Thank you so much, I Love Discounts. And it was an eye-opening moment. But they were right. I was setting the wrong tone in my room unknowingly by complaining about something that, yes, while it bothered me, people in the room could have cared less about, but I was negatively impacting the room. So we do it even when we don't realize it sometimes. I've had some technical issues and I rewatched it live and I thought, okay, I did good, so y'all should watch your own show. Wait, hold on. I had some tech issues and then I rewatched it live and I thought, okay, I did good. Oh, rewatch your, Rustic, yes, rewatch your shows. Basic advice, everybody's going to give it to you, 100%. That's just a no-brainer. Everybody rewatch your shows. I work in healthcare, IT, former military. I've been yelled at by all kinds. Just let it go. Cue Frozen. There you go. Okay, so how about you can't find something? So little things that may happen in your show, your calm and how you react to it could affect everybody else. But you may not realize, and that's why I use the printer example. So when you can't find an item, what are you saying? What are the words? Words are powerful. It's just not maybe your attitude, because I was complaining about my printer with a smile on my face while I was selling stuff. So it's not just like this general negative attitude, but maybe just the words coming out of your mouth. Something breaks. We've all had it happen, right? You're on camera and you break something. If you haven't had it happen, just wait. It's going to happen. Laugh it off. Joke about it instead of, oh my God, that was worth $60, right? Just joke about it. Your tripod tips over. I knocked my iPad over during a podcast the other day. Happens. Literally happened to you yesterday. So at the very end, kind of like as we get to the end of this, Aaron is the share of what out of it. There you go. Love it. Oopsie drats, fudge ricotta. There's a saying. Oh my gosh, I've been hearing some sellers say something. Oh, it's oh my something. Oh my Noxzema or it's some saying I've never heard. It must be like a Southern thing. I've never heard it in my life. And I crack up every time I hear it. Not like laughing at them, but I'm like, I love it. I just can't think of what it is. I've heard like 3 or 4 different sellers say it. Oh my Lanta, there it is, not Noxzema. Where did I get Noxzema from? Oh my Lanta, yes. I have never heard that until recently. And I started hearing it. I'm like, that is so cute. Liz, I broke one of my eggs while live. Took me 8, it was heartbreaking. But I laughed, shared my pain quickly, and recovered. That's right. Remember, people in your room want to be part of your journey. When you break something and you're like, oh, they're sitting there doing the same thing. They're like, oh no, they feel for you. If you just kind of be like, okay, we can keep going, they're going to do the same thing with you. But if you start getting mad about it, they're going to be like, all right, I'm out. I've had enough of that. I don't need to do. Because think about this. We all have enough crap to deal with in our own lives. I don't want to come to a show and deal with your crap. I just don't. Like, I got enough of my own to deal with. But if I come to your show and see how something breaks and you're just like, okay, that sucked. Let's keep going. Then I'm more likely to stay. It broke, so this just went on sale. There you go. Exactly. I broke it. Well, guess what? Instead of one vase, you have 2 pieces of a vase. Half price. Here you go. Right? Oh, my Noxzema is going to be my new phrase. Yeah. Oh, my Lanta. I knew it was something like that. Your, what is it? It breaks so it makes a mosaic. Egg slightly used. There you go. Oh, hard to smile through it. Yeah, that would be a hard one to smile through.
Or you can do like me. I break stuff and I get a free t-shirt.
Only man in this world that I know walks into an antique store, breaks things, and walks out with a free t-shirt. They would probably charge me double. Like, I don't know. So let's like bring all of these thoughts together. So everything we've been talking about, bring it all together. And we're talking about your longevity here. We've been kind of on this longevity kick. When things are going wrong in your shows, when your brand is falling apart, if it happens once, people don't quit because it happens once, right? You have a bad show. Has any of you had one bad show and been like, okay, I'm done. I'm quitting Whatnot forever. And like really been serious about it? You don't do that. One bad show, people don't quit because of one bad show. But you do start to think you want to quit Whatnot when you're doing show after show after show after show and you're exhausted and things aren't going right and you don't have systems in place. and you don't know what you stand for, and you don't have boundaries, and you're having to make decisions constantly over and over. Do I do this refund? Do I let them promote? What do I price here? So if it happens once, you're like, yeah, okay. And when that happens over and over and over again, that's when burnout happens. That's when you want to quit. That's when the longevity of your business starts to become very, very questionable. It's the other job I want to quit. Livy, God, there's some truth there, girl. There really is some truth there. One bad day today makes for a million successes tomorrow. I love that. We should that should be I want to write that down and post it. That is so true. And that's where we're kind of leading with this. Burnout isn't just one dramatic event. It's thousands of little withdrawals from your energy account. I'm going to go back. This is tying this way back to the very beginning of our discussion today, where Gretchen said, I do 2 shows, 2 days a week, and that's it. That is it. 2 shows, 2 days a week, and the rest of the time is do what I want time, recover, do my admin, whatever it is. 2 shows, 2 days a week. Now, that magic formula on how many shows you do, you have to decide what works for you. But I want you to imagine your energy, because we're talking about protecting your brand and your energy, that your energy is like a bank, okay? Every show that you do, oh, that's so sweet, Cynthia. Every show you do, every package you pack, every time you take a picture, every time you list, every social media post, all of that is pulling energy out of your bank. And then you start thinking about the other things in life. Every time you go to your 9 to 5 is pulling energy out of your bank. Every time you're dealing with kids, spouse, whatever, is pulling energy out of your bank. Eventually, if you don't ever make deposits into that bank, you're going to hit zero. Your energy is going to be completely depleted. It is vital that you make deposits back into your energy bank. You have to be realistic and look at the big picture and see what you can or can't do and take time for yourself. If you don't take it, the universe, whatever you believe in the universe, is going to make you take time for yourself, and not in the way that you want to take it. So you have to refuel your energy banks. Think about your inventory. Let's relate this to a real life example. Think about your inventory. I wish there are 8 days in the week. My brain likes to think there's 8 days in the week. My brain likes to think that I can survive on 3 hours of sleep a night. My body, though, says otherwise, and will remind me very quickly. I quite often will know that a 3-day migraine comes because I worked too hard for the 6 months prior to it. And then we would want exactly. There's never enough. So adjust your expectations of yourself accordingly and make sure that you're refueling. You cannot put out a good brand for your business when you are totally depleted in your energy. Again, we said we defined brand, right? Not one of us said our brand is our logo or the colors we use. Every single person who answered that question said the brand is us. What we're bringing, the core values we believe in and enforce, that's our brand. If there is nothing left in you, you're killing your brand. They go hand in hand. Your personal life and your business life, your brand go hand in hand. We've got to protect both. Think about your inventory. If you sold out, let's just imagine, you sold everything you had today. You sold it all. Would you just be like, okay, that's cool, I'm going to go, take a vacation? Or would the first thought in your head, we made it big time, would be, I need to go replace that, right? Let's go sourcing. There we go. I get to shop more. First thing you do is to replace that inventory. Why do you not apply that to yourself? When you deplete all of your energy, why do you want to keep going depleting instead of saying, stop, let's go get some more energy. Let's go relax. Let's go to bed. Let's go veg out. Let's go do whatever it is that re-energizes you. Okay? Go on vacation with great sourcing. Yeah, let's do both. Let's combine it, right? It's the same thing. We instantly, boom, boom, boom. Everybody was like, let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. Let's replenish. Shopping is the other word. Let's replenish. If you were to deplete your inventory, the first thing in your head is to replenish. Give that same respect to yourself. When you deplete your energy, take the time to replenish it. Because it's expected of me to keep going, and I have a people pleaser mentality. I get it. I am incredibly hard on myself. I'm incredibly hard. I believe that I'm an independent woman. Well, I love my husband and we have a lot of shared things financially and assets. I still feel very strong that I can do it all on my own. I can build this business, like what I was talking about earlier, this superwoman complex that we are raised to have, but it's not reality. Shopping is my nemesis. I bought the 2-foot vintage potato masher and still have it. Oh my goodness. I buy so many things that I can't fit in boxes. I am just waiting for better shipping options on whatnot. Except the we don't share the graphics. My husband is 100% responsible for graphics. So we have no problem in our business protecting everything else. Our inventory, our cash flow, boundaries when we set them up. We have no problem doing that. You got to take it and protect yourself too. And I know you're like, well, we come here to hear about business. Don't tell me about replenishing my energy, but it's tied to it. If there's nothing left within yourself, your business is doomed. Okay? Curious from you guys. I drove myself to the ground when I started selling and ended up stopping. I've decided to start again, but there you go. Do it smartly. What is one boundary you wish you had set up earlier in your business? So what's that lesson learned? The one boundary that you maybe have recently set up that you're like, man, I should have done this 6 months ago. I'll tell you mine in a second. I want to see other answers. I have mine written down right here for you. Less hoarding, more selling. Limited items for auctions, not trying to put everything out there at the same time. Pricing too low from the start. So being more confident and firm in your pricing structures. Starting $1.08. Following my data, what sells for me instead of buying everything. I love that. Limited items. That's huge, isn't it, you guys? It's huge because it's so fun to keep selling, or it's so fun to be like, oh, one more item until the shipping day comes. More solid business model and being confident in what you're doing. No more sourcing until I sell. Think of it as an overall picture, not item by item. That's a big one. Mine is not being available 24/7 for people. I wish I would have set that boundary far earlier. I came into this thinking that because I work 9 to 5, that all the rest of my time should be for whatnot. And that I would answer messages all hours of the day. I felt that this pressure of, if they message me, I need to answer right away. I need to provide good customer service, answer it right away. No, this is a business. There's boundaries. I can answer you within 24 hours and still be very professional. I wish I would have done that for myself way earlier. Setting time limits. I love discounts. You can text me whenever you want. Does not mean that I am going to answer you at midnight.
No, I love discounts. You can. That means that we're going to give you the I love discounts treatment.
But realized I had no time for life. You've got to put, as much as I talk about business boundaries around inventory, boundaries around your policies on how you run your shows, you got to have some for your personal life too. Whatnot will take over. It is very addicting. Whatnot will take over your life because there's always something more to do. There's always another post to make, another package to pack, another show to schedule, another idea to ponder on. There's always something. Is it life or death? Here's a little secret. Nothing on Whatnot is life or death. Even for those of you who this is your full-time job, nothing on Whatnot is life or death. I have to, people who are like workaholics have to think about this too in your 9 to 5s. I remind myself of this all the time. I'm doing accounting for a living. I write in the accounting world. I write trainings for people. There is nothing there that's life or death. I am not a brain surgeon. What I am doing is not saving lives. What I'm doing on Whatnot is not saving lives. It's not furthering the whole, gross population of humanity, right? But did you die? There you go. All of it can wait till tomorrow if you have to. Have to trust my staff to do shows without me. That's a big one for growth right there. And I would imagine a ton of people struggle with that as you start to grow. I have a hard time trusting my husband to do a show without me. He does very well. But I still want to be like, did you do this? Did you check this? Did you do this? Did you do, You have to prioritize everything too. Exactly. Not all of it's important today. Not all of it's important today. Set time aside for your business planning. There is no wait emergency. It can wait. And this is very difficult because we think, what if I take it? What if my business fails? What if if I'm not on today, people are going to forget who I am. One day is not going to make a big difference. Now, don't misinterpret this as Tracy says, go reschedule your shows so you can have a day off. Tracy does not say that. I do not believe in rescheduling shows as a normal course of business. But not to have a show for a day, this is what is in my mind. A lot of what I bring you guys is what's going in my mind. I keep saying, I've been saying for a while, I have goals to reach by the end of the year. Part of, in order to reach that goal, is to be on at 7 a.m. every day of the week, 8 o'clock on Saturdays, 8 a.m. on Saturdays. But right now I'm not on Thursdays, and I've been wondering, it's been in my mind, should I? Is that really what I want to do? Thursdays is a good day for me to get out of bed, a little bit slower pace, have a cup of coffee before I go to my 9 to 5 job, to do a little bit of this, maybe I just want to sit and think time. Maybe that's not what I need to be doing. So just because you have a plan doesn't mean you can't think through it and be like, yeah, maybe that's not the right plan, right? You're going to do a walkout. Okay. Or I might lose a sale. If they're going to buy from you today, they'll buy from you tomorrow. And if they don't, then that's okay, because there'll be somebody else to buy from you. It's okay. So with that, we're kind of getting wrapped up here. That's about all we had. I do want to really quick before we wrap up completely. So don't go nowhere. Hang out for a second. Pennsylvania meetup, you guys. If you weren't here at the beginning, didn't hear about it, we are doing a Pennsylvania meetup October 3rd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Tickets are in my bin. When they're gone, they're gone. You will not be able to buy any more after that. You can also go to my website to get always to get all the information. And there's a link to buy tickets on the website. Brings you back to Whatnot. So just saying, everything's going through Whatnot. Please pass the word. Let people know. I cannot wait to see those of you. We have just over 30 now that have bought tickets. We're only a couple of days in. We still have a month of ticket sales left. So I'm really hoping we hit that 125 number within the next month. So if you already bought a ticket, go tell a friend. Make them come with you. Let's make this a really cool meetup. And please come back tomorrow. We've got Timeless and Elegant. We got all kinds of cool stuff tomorrow at 8 a.m. With that, I'm going to do our CEO affirmation, and we're going to go ahead and raid. No, hold on. He's telling me to wait. What kind of plan do you have?
Waiting for a show.
Oh, how long do I need to wait? He's telling me to keep talking. He's waiting for a show to start. 3 minutes. We're going to keep talking for 3 more minutes. So, do you guys have any questions? We have 3 minutes. He's like, I guess we're waiting to raid somebody. We're going to do a giveaway. CEO affirmation card for the giveaway. Y'all, this is why I need notes. The minute you want me to talk about CEO challenge, awesome. Because the minute I have no notes, I'm like, duh, what do I talk about? You guys, if you are not familiar with the CEO challenge, where have you been? What are you doing? CEO Challenge is a group of 8 sellers who have come together. They all applied to be participants in this challenge, and it is a business challenge to build your business, not just the show. Every week they face a different challenge, and then on Mondays we do a showcase, and they invite you into their business. They show you what they've been working on, what's working, what's not working, how they're trying to make these changes in their business. Along with, now they get to sell some stuff, because we want this to be a profitable venture for them also. So please come Monday night, bookmark the CEO Challenge. We have Crystal's Vintage, Josie are both in it. We have a total of 8. He's going to play it for you.
Eight sellers, growing, learning, building. Through weekly challenges, building the business, not just the show. Welcome to the CEO Challenge.
There you go. Josie, thank you so much for putting that in there. If you want to follow along at home, we do have a Dropbox where every Monday we put the weekly challenge in there for you to do it at home. DM me. We'll get you added. If you DM me your email address, we'll get you added to that Dropbox so that every Monday you have access to what the challenge is. And Gretchen, yes, it did just start. We are only in week 2, so you have plenty of time to come in and get invested, just to really bond with some of these sellers and follow their journey for the rest of the month. So it's going to go on for the whole month of July. It's really amazing. It is a really cool thing. You get to know the participants. Last time in season 1, every single participant saw an improvement in whatever it was that they were trying to do. This isn't magic. I'm going to tell you the secret. I should wait and tell you the secret at the end, but this isn't magic. It's not about anything that Zoe's Treasures is doing or that I'm doing. It's about people who are taking time to read, learn, and use tools and focus on something in their business. When you do that, it starts to grow. This is just an avenue to kind of nudge people to do that. And I can't wait for 3 more weeks to see the growth and see the changes that these businesses occur. And it's not, think about this realistically, it's not massive. They've got 4 weeks, but there's enough changes. Every single one from season 1 was like, man, this is really cool. I was in a show yesterday. Miss Jen Hen was season 1. I was in a show with her, and I'm always on incognito. She didn't know I was there, and she was talking about emotional discounting, which is something we focused heavily on in season 1. And I was so proud. I'm like, you make my heart so happy. You're here repeating stuff. And she's like, I learned this in the CEO Challenge. So these concepts, these things really do affect your business, and they do have some long-lasting, really positive results. There's Josie. Thank you, Josie. All right, y'all, you have a good day. Are we ready to, nope, he's not on. All right, so we're just going to go and raid somebody else. I'm going to read you our CEO affirmation. It says, I protect my energy and brand by handling issues calmly and documenting every transaction. Tonight, we're going to be back on at 7 with the tax focus on how to handle problem transactions. Good morning, Ross. We are about to raid. You're just in time for our raid. Don't go nowhere. So we are going to see you back at 7 tonight. If you want to learn a little bit about handling problem transactions, I've got a few examples of my own to talk about. Thank you. Ducks in the chat when we get to wherever we're going. The boss over there is picking.